You can find eggs in almost every grocery store in the world. And yet, walking down that aisle, you observe a monopoly that belongs almost exclusively to chickens. This sight is so familiar that we take it for granted as a natural norm. It seems as if evolution itself originally intended the egg to come specifically in a chicken version. However, this product standard took shape over centuries under the pressure of harsh economic selection. We simply stopped noticing how narrow our daily choices have become. This is a strange biological blind spot. We eat the eggs of birds, reptiles, and fish. But when it comes to farming, we collectively decided that the chicken is the only player in the field. Why did we ignore the potential of the rest of the animal world as a source for our breakfast? After all, the planet's fauna includes thousands of bird species, and many of them lay perfectly edible eggs. Some of these alternatives are even more nutritious and rich in rare vitamins. But the industrial market dictates its own rules, leaving behind everything that cannot be easily mass-produced. Even in terms of taste, we voluntarily deprived ourselves of dozens of unique flavors. Our morning diet has turned into a monotonous repetition of the exact same culinary template. The answer lies not just in taste. It comes down to geography, biology, and the ruthless efficiency of industrial agriculture. Let's start with the most obvious candidate, the duck egg. If you've ever been to a high-end bakery or a specialized Asian market, you might have seen them. They are larger than chicken eggs, have a richer, creamier yolk, and a thicker shell. High-end chefs often hunt for them to create unique sauce textures. Such a yolk binds ingredients like a perfect natural glue, turning ordinary mayonnaise or cream into a culinary masterpiece. Sponge cakes and cake layers made with them turn out impossibly tall and fluffy. Plus, a duck egg keeps significantly longer than a chicken egg thanks to its thick shell. From a culinary standpoint, they objectively surpass chicken eggs in baking. The high fat content makes cakes fluffier and pastries richer. But on the global market, they remain nothing more than a niche luxury. The average consumer is simply not ready to get used to a denser texture and a specific aftertaste. For many, such a product feels too unfamiliar and heavy for daily eating. The problem lies with the bird itself. The chicken is an ultimate biological machine. The modern laying hen is the result of thousands of years of selective breeding. Today, a high-yield leghorn chicken can lay over 300 eggs a year. They are efficient, mature quickly, and reach peak egg-laying production around 20 weeks of age. A chicken spends a minimum amount of feed per gram of protein produced, turning grain into food with almost flawless profitability. No other domestic winged creature shows such a fantastic return on every bowl of feed eaten. Ducks, by comparison, are far more finicky. They are waterfowl. To live normally, they need open water, they create much more mess, and their egg-laying cycle is significantly less predictable. If you're a farmer trying to optimize a supply chain, the chicken is your ideal employee. The duck, on the other hand, is a massive headache requiring complex care. Any disruption in duck keeping conditions immediately leads to a drop in productivity. On top of that, the specific smell of duck ponds requires farmers to invest in entirely different cleanup and sanitation costs. On the scale of a massive agricultural conglomerate, maintaining such ponds would turn into a financial abyss. That is why duck farms have remained the domain of small private holdings. Every square meter of a poultry factory must bring profit, and ducks require far too much open space. Chickens, however, fit perfectly into the concept of multi-tiered battery cage skyscrapers. But what about other birds? What about the ostrich? An ostrich egg is a true giant. A single egg can weigh over 1.5 kilograms. That's equivalent to roughly 2 dozen chicken eggs. If you want to feed a large family, one ostrich egg would be a scalable single solution. Imagine an omelet whose preparation could bring a whole group of friends together around the table. Such a shell is so strong that in ancient times it was used to make actual water vessels. But for the kitchen, this strength becomes just another unpleasant obstacle. However, the logistics turn into a nightmare. Ostriches are not chickens. They don't fly, they are fast, and they are incredibly strong. They can grow up to 2.7 meters tall and weigh nearly 140 kilograms. Trying to force an ostrich to sit on a nest while you carefully collect its egg is a direct path to the emergency room. A powerful kick from this bird's leg can deliver a fatal injury to a human. An egg collector on such a farm is forced to work under conditions close to wilderness expeditions. No insurance policy will cover the risks of daily contact with an enraged giant. Furthermore, transporting such massive and heavy objects requires completely different loading equipment. Standard cardboard cartons and sorting conveyors are completely useless here. In addition, their breeding seasonality is clearly pronounced. An ostrich can lay only about 40 to 60 eggs per year. Compare that to 300 plus from a chicken, and the math of mass production simply falls apart. That's why you can buy a carton of chicken eggs for a couple of dollars, while a single ostrich egg can cost upwards of 50. It's an exotic novelty, not a staple product. Even hard-boiling such a giant takes about an hour and a half, which absolutely does not fit into the rhythm of a modern morning. When a person counts every minute before leaving for work, such time costs are simply unthinkable. And this brings us to the key point: domestication. We don't eat the eggs of wild animals, or even most semi-domesticated species, simply because we didn't spend 10,000 years teaching them to lay eggs on command. The evolution of the domestic chicken went hand in hand with the development of human civilization. We literally molded this species to fit our own needs, selecting the most unpretentious and prolific individuals. As a result, we got a bird capable of living and laying eggs in almost any climate. This was a long genetic experiment that reshaped the bird's organism from top to bottom. Rebuilding some other species from scratch today would simply be too expensive and take too long. Take the pheasant or the quail. Quail eggs are considered a delicacy in many cultures. They are small, speckled, and delicious, but they are tiny. You would have to crack 5 or 6 of them just to get the volume of a single standard large chicken egg. In a world of high-speed production, the labor costs of cracking that many shells are a logistical catastrophe. Automated factory equipment is simply not designed to work with such fragile raw material. Every extra step in processing the product immediately drives up its final price. On top of that, quails themselves are quite skittish and easily panic from the slightest noise, instantly stopping their egg production. Chickens, in this regard, show incredible Olympic-level calmness. Then comes the issue of safety. Poultry farming is strictly regulated due to salmonella risks. We've built an entire industry around monitoring the health of chicken flocks. We know exactly what they eat, what medications they receive, and how to store their eggs to prevent bacterial growth. Any rules for disinfection and cleaning have been refined over years specifically for chicken eggshells. Other bird species would require rewriting all sanitary guidelines from scratch. Any mistake along this path threatens mass food poisoning outbreaks on a global scale. The system prefers to work only with those risks it has learned to fully control. If we suddenly decided to start eating, say, hawk or crow eggs, we would have to start from square one. We don't know the long-term health consequences of these birds' diets. We have no infrastructure for their mass collection. Wild birds often carry specific infections that are dangerous to humans. Any risk of poisoning could bankrupt a major food company in a matter of days. And an attempt to lock wild predators in cages would spark such scandals with animal rights activists that it would shut down any business. Think about the scale of the global egg industry. Humanity consumes over 80 million tons of eggs every year. That's trillions of individual eggs. Such a volume is only possible thanks to the perfectly fine-tuned assembly line we created for chickens. We optimize their coops, lighting schedules, and nutritious feed to turn them, essentially, into little living factories. Every parameter of this system is calculated down to the smallest detail. Special lamps artificially extend daylight, forcing the bird's internal clock to work without days off. Even the shape of the feeders is designed so that the birds don't spill a single grain. It is an absolute triumph of an engineering approach to living nature. This entire machine operates continuously, smoothly delivering fresh product to the shelves of thousands of cities. No alternative industry is capable of delivering similar precision and scope. Could we do the same for other animals? Maybe. But why? We are already trying our hardest to make current livestock farming eco-friendly and zero waste. Adding the complexity of keeping, breeding, and mass-producing new species would simply skyrocket prices in stores without offering almost any real benefit in return. Retooling factory lines would require billions in spending with no guarantee that it would ever pay off. The market isn't ready to pay more for an alternative that offers nothing radically new. Business always chooses the simplest path with the highest profit, and among birds, the chicken simply has no rivals in this regard. Even the boldest startups creating the lab-grown food of the future prefer to work with plants or lab-cultivated meat. Nobody is risking money to invest in breeding new bird species. There is also a cultural factor. Food is a habit. We eat chicken eggs because our grandparents ate chicken eggs, just as their ancestors did. All our recipes are calibrated to the exact size and properties of chicken egg white. Changing this would require retooling everything, from grocery store shelves to baking software at commercial bakeries. The entire global culinary toolkit is built around the chicken egg. Imagine millions of bakers around the world having to rewrite proportions for every cake or loaf of bread from scratch. It would cause total chaos. Our culinary habits are one of the most stubborn things in life. We unconsciously cling to familiar tastes, looking at any exotic option with suspicion. The chicken isn't the best animal in the world. It is simply the most convenient. It is the gold standard of convenience-based nutrition. But if we look into the future of food, our reliance on this single bird should give us pause. We've created a massive global system tied to a single species. If a new dangerous avian disease emerges, one that easily infects identical laying hens packed side by side, our entire global egg supply could collapse in a matter of weeks. In a world of open borders, a single viral outbreak could leave stores empty. One lucky mutation of the bird flu virus could deprive entire countries of protein. The genetic uniformity of domestic chickens leaves them completely defenseless against new biological threats. This entire giant system rests on a rather fragile balance. Breeding birds for maximum egg yield has weakened their natural immunity. We got the perfect producer, but at the same time created the perfect target for infections. We traded diversity for efficiency. We traded the picturesque chaos of a traditional farm for the clean, predictable lines of a factory assembly line. We turned a living process into a dry blueprint. And while this solved the problem of hunger, we lost our flexibility. Perhaps the question isn't why we don't eat the eggs of other animals, but why we became so dependent on just one. We backed ourselves into a corner in our pursuit of profit. We built a system so efficient that anything outside its boundaries seems strange, expensive, or unnecessary. But if you look at the history of human survival, diversity has always been our main insurance against disaster. When everything relies on a single point of failure, any unexpected problem becomes a catastrophe. Nature dislikes uniformity. It always responds to it with the emergence of new diseases. In the wild, the one with backup options survives. We, on the other hand, built a structure resting on a single support beam. Any crack in this foundation could collapse the entire food supply chain, and we will have nothing to replace that beam with in a crisis. The next time you crack an egg into a frying pan, remember that you are participating in a grand experiment. You are eating the result of thousands of years of human engineering aimed at one goal: producing a standard, absolutely identical, inexpensive oval. It's not just breakfast, it's the end product of a highly complex global supply chain. Behind that simple shell lies the labor of millions of people, from geneticists to refrigerated truck drivers. Every morning dish is a monument to our ability to reshape nature for our own comfort. It's a daily ritual connecting a modern city with ancient farms. But for this predictability, we pay a hidden price. It is a miracle of modern logistics. But it is also a reminder that by choosing convenience over diversity, we lose the ability to appreciate the wild, strange, and complex world beyond the chicken coop. We voluntarily narrowed our horizons to the boundaries of a standard cardboard carton from the supermarket. The world around us is full of amazing things, but we only notice what rolls down the factory conveyor belt. Perhaps we don't need to start eating ostrich or duck eggs to survive. But we should certainly ask ourselves, what else did we stop noticing simply because it was easier to look the other way? And won't this easy path turn out to be the most dangerous dead end in our history?